Hi, and welcome to the Stock Scores Market Minutes for July 10th, 2017. This week I want to talk about the market factor. I'll then do my normal weekly market analysis, and then we'll talk about the trade of the week, a day trade on OCUL. So the market factor. You have two choices. You can trade stocks that are correlated to the market with really a focus on what the overall market is doing. I would call that beta trading. The alternative is to trade individual stocks that are breaking their correlation to the market because there's something big going on with the company, some significant fundamental change underway, or at least the perception of such. And that is called alpha trading. Now, to trade alpha, you want to focus on abnormal price and volume and do kind of a bottoms up approach. Look for these abnormal stocks and really focus your analysis on the stock. To trade beta, you want to focus the analysis on what the area of the market, the sector, or the overall market is doing, and then filter down to the stocks leading that group. So for example, on Friday, the NASDAQ was doing well. It was having some recovery, and the leading stocks were the Netflix and the Googles and the Facebooks and those kind of stocks, the leaders of that group. And so by focusing in on those stocks, because the overall market was going up, those stocks also went up. On the other hand, there was individual stocks that were going down because they had something bad going on, perhaps some bad news. You can trade those as well. We'll talk about that when we look at the day trade of the day. All right, let's get into the weekly market analysis. And this, of course, is the S&P 500 30-day, 60-minute chart. And you can see that we've got these falling tops building. We've talked about this a little bit lately. I wouldn't say it's a really sharp pullback in the S&P. It's kind of a drift lower. Volume has been light. It's sort of, the buyers aren't there because there's no reason to buy. There's no earnings season to drive investor optimism. And we just have this sort of summer drift lower on very light volume. So it's a bearish chart, but I wouldn't consider it particularly bearish yet. Now, the long-term picture, you can see that we are still in that long-term upward trend. I draw this every week. And we're above the medium-term trend line and the long-term upward trend line. We have come back to it. We are threatening to break it, but we have not broken it yet, and so we have to consider this a bullish chart because it's going up from left to right. On to the Russell 2000, it has been just sideways dead market. It is building some optimisms. We have some rising bottoms that have been building over the last few months, but until we get an excited break through resistance, with some real enthusiasm, I wouldn't consider the small caps the place to be yet, but I will say that there is some action picking up in that area, mostly in the biotechs, as the biotech sector has recovered lately. Moving on to the Canadian market, you can see also falling tops. You have pessimism in this regard, and it's probably worse than the US market. That's a little bit of a sharper downward move. So we're in this sort of downward sloping channel on the Canadian market. But again, it's not significant yet because it's not moving sharply lower with any kind of panic or any kind of volume. And then here's where it's a little bit different. The long-term chart of the Canadian market had its upward trend broken. It's built a falling top, and it's been kind of drifting lower since then. We haven't had that sharp sell-off to really show that there's fear and panic in the market. So I'm not particularly concerned yet, but it is still looking worse than the US market. And generally, I would say it's a market to be avoided unless you want to trade alpha on the Canadian market, where there are stocks trading on their strong individual story. Now, the TSX Venture is much worse. It's got a sharper downward trend. It has been moving lower in this latest wave for about 5 or 6 weeks, and it probably has more downside to go. You've got weakness in gold, weakness in oil, heavily denominated in the TSX Venture. Treasuries had tried to move higher. There was a little breakout there, and it had a short rally. It's pulled back to the upward trend line. The question is, does it bounce, or have we call that a break of the trend line? It's pretty close either way. I would say it slightly broke the upward trend line, not decisively so, but it does appear that that trend of higher bond prices, which means lower interest rates, is losing steam already, and we may be seeing the move back in the bond market, which means interest rates going up, mostly as investors start to speculate perhaps about another interest rate raise in the US. On the US dollar, you can see that we continue to be in this downward sloping channel. We haven't moved sharply downward to get a little panic. We haven't moved upward. We're just stuck in that sloping downward channel. We're going to find some support here on the US dollar, some here. So there's not a lot of downside anymore. the cue to short it was maybe there on that breakdown from a falling top, but it's not something I'd want to step in front of as a buyer yet because we're not near support. Moving along to gold, there it's an interesting break this week. You can see a fairly sharp breakdown breaking this upward trend line from a falling top. Remember, we had talked about the downward trend line. It had just kind of been tickled through in here and it kind of failed the breakout. So really what happened is the market ran away from the trend line. It came back to it and now it's rolling over and looks like it wants to go lower again. And so I'm back to being a bear on gold. On oil, you can see that it's been a pretty lousy year for oil as prices move lower. We got oversold. Anytime you move away from the trend line, so towards the bottom of the channel, you're oversold. So we were oversold there. We rallied back, got overbought, and now it looks like it will move lower again. And until we see a break up from a rising bottom, preferably breaking through the top of that downward sloping channel, I would be very cautious with buying energy stocks. Fear index, a little bit of a pickup in the last 2 weeks or so. You can see the little jump there. Certainly more volatility in the market. But again, you can remember on the stock market, it's been very light volume. So you shouldn't read a lot into it yet, but the market is starting to get a little concerned as we look forward to earnings season that will start next week. The bulk of earnings start to roll out next week. And so I would suggest there's a little bit of caution warranted there, but nothing significant. So my ratings then, bullish long-term on U.S. stock, but bearish short-term, although, as I said earlier, only slightly bearish because of the lack of volume. Canadian stocks bearish in both time frames, gold bearish in both time frames, and oil bearish long-term, neutral short-term as it is trying to bounce in the very short term. U.S. stocks have been drifting lower on light volume, making it difficult to determine if the weakness is the start of something bigger. Canadian stocks will languish with oil's weakness. Gold has broken down again and gets downgraded this week, and that also weighs on the Canadian market. The market's true direction will come out with earnings, and we should get our answer in that in the next week or two as the market starts to price in earnings growth or perhaps a lack of growth. Fear has been increasing a little bit, but it is not significant yet. All right, let's move on to the trade of the day. As I said, on Friday, the markets were up, and the NASDAQ was up the most. The S&P did pretty well also, and you had strength in the big name tech stocks primarily. Here's the stock, however, that was a great short. And this one was a great short because it was disconnected from the market. It was trading abnormal volume and it was trading on its own story. Obviously something negative. I don't ever look into what these companies are doing. I'm a chart trader, so I don't even know what happened, but obviously it was something bad. And you can see I had an entry signal using my message candle indicator, using my abnormal volume indicators. That's why I was watching it. Short signal there and ended up earning about 7-to-1 risk reward into the close. A good case where a stock that went against the grain of the market still was a successful trade because it was alpha. You could trade the beta stocks, which were the big name NASDAQ stocks, or you could focus on alpha regardless of the direction that they wanted to go. All right, well, that has been the Stock Scores Market Minutes. Please subscribe to the Stock Scores channel if you like what I do here. We've got some new things coming soon. And like the video if you thought it was good. Tell your friends and have a great week in the market. Trade well.